CEO scoffed, "I don't shake hands with janitors." Moments later, the black man pulled $4 billion investment security. Who let him in here? All heads turned. A man in navy coveralls stood calmly by the door, mop in hand. The CEO smirked and muttered, "I don't shake hands with janitors." Everyone laughed until 5 minutes later, when the so-called janitor pulled out a badge that would shake the room to its core, because Malcolm Reed wasn't there to clean the floors. He was there to clean house with $4 billion in investment. Get ready for a true lesson in respect, identity, and ruthless reality. Malcolm Reed had grown up in the shadows of Atlanta's toughest neighborhoods. His mother worked 2 jobs to keep the lights on, and he spent his teenage years pushing a mop through dimly lit buildings after school. But his brilliance couldn't be hidden forever. By 35, Malcolm had founded Solves, a tech-driven clean energy company valued in the billions. His mission? Bring renewable infrastructure to underserved black and brown communities. Now he was looking to expand in the U.S., and a $4 billion partnership was on the table. But before choosing a firm, Malcolm wanted to observe them. Not the polished pitch, but the unfiltered culture. So he arrived at Whitmore Capital's Manhattan office disguised in the same uniform he wore as a teen janitor. He didn't want to test numbers. He wanted to test character, and what he found inside would spark headlines around the world. Malcolm stepped into the towering glass lobby unnoticed. Executives buzzed past him, too busy to notice the quiet man with a mop. Upstairs, the boardroom was prepped for the most important pitch of their year. $4 billion on the line. Bryce Whitmore, the silver-haired CEO known for charm and ruthless efficiency, reviewed his notes while rehearsing a fake laugh for the community impact slides. His firm had marketed itself as progressive, but it's the culture that reveals itself when no one's watching. As Malcolm entered the boardroom quietly, one assistant whispered, "He shouldn't be here." Whitmore glanced over and sneered, "Let him finish cleaning. Just don't let him touch the chairs." Nobody objected. Malcolm observed everything: how employees were talked over, how non-white staff weren't present at all. He let it all sink in. Then he walked to the head of the table, pulled a badge from his pocket, and placed it down. Malcolm Reed, founder and CEO of Solves. The room froze. A pen dropped. One man's jaw fell open. Whitmore blinked. "You're him?" "Yes," Malcolm said calmly. "And I just witnessed who you are." Bryce stumbled over his words, trying to recover. But it was too late. Malcolm picked up his badge, looked the CEO in the eye, and said, "You don't shake hands with janitors? Good. You won't have to shake hands with billionaires either." And just like that, the $4 billion vanished. Whitmore bolted out of the boardroom, calling after Malcolm as the elevator doors began to close. "Wait, Mr. Reed, we didn't know." Malcolm turned his head slowly and replied, "No, you didn't care to know." The doors closed in Bryce's face. Minutes later, word got out. An anonymous tip to a business blog lit up social media like wildfire. It was a PR disaster. Stockholders panicked. Employees whispered about resigning. Activists called for Bryce's resignation. And Malcolm? He was already sitting across town at a firm that greeted him with respect the moment he walked through the door. Regardless of what he wore, Bryce Whitmore's fall was fast and public. SOLVX chose to partner with a minority-led venture firm that shared Malcolm's values, sending a powerful message: money follows respect, not race. Malcolm never gave interviews about the incident, but weeks later, at an urban tech summit, he gave a keynote titled, "What You See Isn't Always Who You're Meeting." He ended it with one question: how many doors have we closed on brilliance just because we didn't like the shoes it wore? In a world obsessed with image, Malcolm's story became a blueprint for change. He didn't shout. He didn't beg. He just let their prejudice cost them everything. And for every janitor overlooked, every kid underestimated, this story reminds us, the floor you mock today might be the one you answer to tomorrow. Take care.